Hey everyone, welcome to another control rig video. Today we're making our own custom interpolation for both rotation and translation, so I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so before we even start, what the heck is interpolation and why is this making our movement look smoother? Say we have two data points. Interpolation is simply the act of getting extra data points that would lie in between these data points. So for instance, if this first data point was the number 0 and this other data point was the number 10, we can say that 4 lies between these two data points. So we've just interpolated a value even though we didn't know that 4 was there. That's pretty much what interpolation is. It's just getting values between two data points. Now, if you don't believe that it's that simple, let's head back into our control rig graph from last time where we used our spring interpolation. And let's just right click somewhere here where I'm just gonna search for interpolate, which should be this node right here, the linearly interpolate between A and B. You can see we really only have 3 nodes here. We have A, which is our starting point, which in our previous example would be 0, and B, which is our endpoint, and then the result, which would be whatever value we're interpolating. Now this result is going to be dependent on this key value here, which from now on I'm going to call the lerp factor. Okay, so what the heck is this lerp ratio? It's simply a normalized value, meaning it ranges from 0 to 1. That simply tells us where along these 2 points is our interpolated value going to be found. To make this easy, a lerp value of 0 means we're getting the first data point, which in this case would be 0. Now if we use a lerp value of 1, it just means we're getting the furthest data point, which in this case would just correspond to the number 10. Now with that in mind, if we have a value of 0.5, you can probably tell that this will just get the value that's halfway between these 2 points, and the halfway point here would just be 5. Cool, so that's essentially what linear interpolation is. But that also begs the question, how does that help us get smoother movement? I think the best way to explain this is in the concept of frames and frames per second, also known as FPS. You probably know that the more FPS you have, the smoother your movement will look like. And the reason this is because games are simply just a series of images displayed one after the other. And that series of images, when put one after the other in a very short period of time, is what gives us the illusion of movement. Now the reason this is important, because when we use teleport to function, a verse is bound by the server. It's synced up to the server. Now the reason that's a problem is because the server ticks at a maximum of 30 frames per second. And if you've ever played any games like Fortnite, you probably know that 30 frames per second is not the smoothest look. Now the reason this works is that control rig is client-sided, meaning that it's not bound by the server, which means that it's not bound by the 30 FPS rule. All right, so let's say this is our little mannequin here, and let's say we use the teleport function to move this mannequin to some target position. But what if there was a way, instead of having our mannequin move from this position to the next position all within 1 frame, we can instead have it move along positions. You can see that now this is sort of adding extra frames here, meaning that now our mannequin gradually making its way here. So how are we going to get these extra positions? Well, if you haven't noticed yet, we can use the lerp or the linear interpolation to grab these extra positions. Now the reason we can use the interpolate is that lerp works with numbers, but what we're interpolating here is position, and the position is just represented as a vector, but a vector is just simply a collection of numbers. All right, let's actually get started with building our control rig here. So I'm just going to go into my folders here and just ignore these for now, but we're going to create a new control rig by going into the animation control rig and create a control rig, CR_custom interpolation. And for this tutorial, we're going to be importing our FN_mannequin because that's already built into the engine. So you guys can play along or tag along with this. So we're going to import, and we have our little dude here. Okay, so the way this is going to work is, let's say we have our mannequin here, and this mannequin is at some position here, which is going to be our current position. And let's say we, on the next frame, we move the root control, which is going to be the target position, because remember, the root control is what's driving our mannequin. So ultimately what we want is we want to eventually have our mannequin move to the target position. But before we do that, we're going to be interpolating some position, which is going to be the interpolated position. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell control rig that instead of moving to where the root control is, which is the target position, we're going to instead move to the interpolated position, which, so now our mannequin is going to move over here. And what that means is that now this new position is going to be our new current position. So we're going to update our current position variable. And you can see that now we have a new graph. So we just repeat the same process of interpolating a new position and then having our mannequin move to the interpolated position, and so on and so forth. So you can see here that we're going to be needing 3 variables: our interpolated position, which is where we want to actually move our mannequin to, the current position, which is the current position of the mannequin, and then the target position, which is the position of the root control. So how do we actually create variables? Well, you can see here that if we go down here, we go into this My Blueprints tab. If you don't see this, then just go up to Window and then click on My Blueprint here. That should show up here. You can see we have this variables section here. So if we add the plus icon, we can create a new variable, and I'm going to create our current position variable, and we can change the type into a vector. There we go. And then we're going to create a new variable called the target position, which is going to be another vector. Lastly, we're going to create our interpolated position, which again is going to be another vector. So the first thing we need is our target position, which is going to correspond to the root control. So we're just going to drag out our target position here, and we're going to set the target position. And now I'm going to hook this up here, and this target position, remember, this is going to be the value of this root control. Wherever this root control is, that's going to be our target position. That's ultimately where we want to be moving to. So if I click on this, you can see that I can't hook this up here. That's because we need to expand. And for this, we only care about the translation here. So we're going to hook that up. The next thing is our interpolated position. So after we set the targeted position, we're going to set the interpolated position. And the interpolated position, remember, is just the interpolation between our current position and our target position. So the value of this, we're going to search up our interpolate node here, and the result is going to go into here. You can see now it's expecting two vectors. So the first one is going to be our current position, because remember, that's our starting position. Our endpoint is going to be our target position. That's where we're going to be interpolating to. Now this lerp factor is the more we interpolate it towards here, essentially we're sort of moving closer to our target value anyways. So we're gonna have less frames anyways because we're interpolating less times. So if you want a smoother movement, we would want a lower interpolated value. That way you can see that this has more bars. The lower our lerp factor is, smoother our movement is gonna be. So for this one, I'm just gonna set this to 0.1 for now. So now that we've successfully interpolated a new position, what we need to do is we need to get this interpolated position and just set our root transform or our mannequin transform to be wherever this interpolated position is. So I'm going to grab my root bone here and I'm going to drag it out like here, and we're going to set the bone, and I'm going to hook this up. Then all we need to do is we need to go back in here and just get the interpolated position, because this has now been updated to be this. And we're just going to set we're going to expand this value node here. And for the translation, it's just going to be the value of this interpolated position. Now the last step is, remember, we need to, now that we've moved to the interpolated position, we just simply set the current position to be whatever the new interpolated position is. We just hook this up and we can just grab the value of this and plug that in there. So I'm just gonna double click here to get this sort of thing, just to make this look nicer. And you can see that now when I move my root control, you can see that's moving smoothly. So let's actually adjust it to be 0.02 or something. You can see that now it's still interpolating, but it's interpolating slower, which is smoother movement. That is our custom interpolation. Okay, so after that, I've just set up my blueprint here with the control rig, and as my referenced actor, I'm gonna grab this. And you can see here that now when I move this is sort of interpolating. Okay, so now that we have our interpolated movement here, you're probably wondering, what about rotation? How can we interpolate rotation? Well, if you go back into our control rig here, an easy way to do this is we can just drag this out and just search up for spring interpolation, which is going to interpolate the quaternion here, and then we can just plug this directly into this rotation value in the set. So when I compile this and then compile the blueprint, you can see that now that sort of has a springy interpolation. But what if we want to make our own custom interpolation? Well, we've pretty much followed the same procedure as we did with the position here. So I'm going to delete this, and we're going to create 3 new variables, just like the ones we already have. So the first one is, again, going to be our current rotation. So I'm going to call this current rotation. And for the value here, you can see we can look up here. We're going to hit a quaternion here. It's not going to be up here. Instead, you're going to find it in the structure here. So we're going to expand this and look for the one that says quad, which is a quaternion. We're going to create a target rotation, just like we did with our position. And then finally, you guessed it, an interpolated rotation. So we're going to do the same thing here. Firstly, get the target position, then interpolate the new rotation based on the current and the target position, and then set that to the transform here. So I'm actually going to get unhook this up. You can press Alt and then click on this to unhook a pin here. So press Alt and left click. And the reason is because before we set the transform here, we want to first interpolate the rotation here. So firstly, I'm going to grab my target rotation. We're going to set that to be the rotation of whatever our root control is. So we're going to just drag that like here. And for the execution pin, that's going to be after we've interpolated successfully our position. So after that, we then proceed to interpolate the rotation. So we have that, and then we can get the interpolated rotation here, and we're going to set that to be an interpolation between the current rotation and our target rotation. So we grab these two here. I'm going to drag this out and just search for interpolate here. And we interpolate between these two, and then the value is again going to be whatever value you want. I'm going to do 0.07 for now, and then we're going to set that to be the new interpolated rotation like that. And now once we have that, we can then set this to, we can set the transform, because now we've set the interpolated position and the interpolated rotation. And for the rotation here, we can just get our new interpolated rotation here. I'm just going to grab this here. And then for the value, we're just going to drag this out here. And after that, we need to remember, we need to update our current position and our current rotation. So grab these two, and we're going to hook these two up like this. We're already setting this current position to be updated to the interpolated position here. That's great. We just need to plug this current rotation to be our interpolated rotation. So just plug that in there. Rig is looking a little messy here, but for now, I guess that's fine. So we're going to compile this, compile our thing. And now you're going to notice that once we move this, you can see that our mannequin is smoothly sort of rotating. Okay, so I've just set up a simple verse script here. Okay, so we're in game here, and we're going to notice that see our ball is moving very steady at a 30 FPS frame rate, but our mannequin is moving smoothly. You can see here he's rotating smoothly, and he's moving smoothly following the ball. Of course, he's going to be delayed because we're still interpolating the position. We're not immediately updating to the position, but you can see that looks a lot smoother. So I'm going to hide the ball, and you can see that now without the ball, you can see that now we can clearly see that our mannequin is smoothly moving along this direction using our own custom interpolation. Okay, so one last thing, I'm going to add this just to, so this ball is facing this direction. You can tell because the x-axis is going this way. So when I add this, and we're going to notice that our mannequin is not exactly facing the same direction as our ball is. It's still rotating, but it'd be nice if we could actually have this mannequin face the exact same rotation here. What we can do is we can simply offset the rotation here. So I'm just going to grab this, and I'm going to get a node here called to Euler, which is a quaternion. And for the result, we're going to offset the z-axis, because when we move around the z-axis, you can see here that rotation, this blue one represents the z-axis. That is what's known as yaw, which moves the object or moves something left and right. So we're just going to offset this z-axis by 90 degrees. So I'm just going to add, and here we're going to add 90 degrees on. The other ones we don't really care about. Okay, and then we need to convert this Euler again to a quaternion, because this is what's going to be our target rotation. To do that, we just search up a from Euler, which is the quaternion here. This we're going to expand and get rid of this. And for this, the result is going to be the z value. And then for the x and the y, we can just plug in the x and the y directly, because we're just going to be reading the current x and y. And then that's going to give us, as a result, a quaternion. So we can just plug that into our target rotation. Now you're going to notice that, well, we kind of messed up here. We added 90 degrees in the other way. So now he's facing 180 degrees. So to fix that, we're just going to add negative 90 here. Like that. And that should fix our problem. You can see now our mannequin is facing the exact same direction as our ball here. Anyway, that's pretty much it for interpolation. As always, I hope this was helpful. And yeah.